You are listening to Trophy Horse with your hosts, Tricky Mick, Alex, I Yield to No One,
Steve.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trophy Horse. This is episode 347. I'm your host, Tricky Mick. Alongside with me, he brings the awesome. I yield to no one.
You know, I don't have a catchy hello today. Just don't have it.
He's missed enough. He is Matt Murray.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
And he is the trophy chumpin' of the Loot Bros. He's Resident Daryl.
What's up?
So, Daryl.
Yo.
I have to ask.
What's up?
It's been quite a while.
Yes.
Are we ever going to get our trophies from the war that we decimated you guys in?
Yeah, one day, man. I haven't forgotten
One
about
day.
them.
I would think that you have forgotten about them since it's been, what, a year and a half?
It's been a while, but here's the way this whole thing worked out.
Oh, here we go. Here come the excuses.
Well, I used to work out, like actually go to the gym in the mornings. And since my kids are all in school, now I have to take them to school in the mornings and I have to work out on my lunch break. My lunch break was when I did all my clever, really cool stuff, like, you know, design trophies and cool stuff like that. So I just don't ever not work out. So it's like,
So maybe
one
skip
day-
leg day and then get the trophies done.
but you never skip leg day. That's like a rule.
Okay, so skip cardio day.
I mean, look at me. I've been skipping cardio for a
you go
long
first.
time, brother.
All right, for everybody here. Now, Yield,
Yes.
I was unable to be on last week's show. And I only listened to the first half of it. But Alex asked you a question last week that I want to ask you again. Or not, I want to rephrase. Because Alex asked you, did me and Steven do enough to convince you to buy God of War and play it? You said no. So now, on the show, we have Daryl and we have Matt, who have both beaten God of War, which I'm going to shut up and I'm going to have them explain to you why you should buy and play God of War. You two take the floor.
Yeah, here's the thing. I listened to the shows, the past several shows, and you know, you guys are denying yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not hurting any of us. You know what I'm saying? You're certainly not hurting God of War sales figures. It's a fantastic game. Like it's from start to finish something special. From the combat to the visuals to the story to the constant surprises, especially at the very end of the game, and then the very, very end of the game. So like if you're not going to get it because you said, you know, you're going to be that guy, well then, hey man, it sucks for you because this thing is, you know, it's a masterpiece. Like, I feel like it's the closest you can get to a perfect game by today's standards. You know, like every generation we get, you know what I'm saying, a handful of games that are just the best of the time. And I feel like God of War is the best of our time. I really felt the same way about The Last of Us. And I feel like this is like Last of Us caliber video game. So if you don't want that, you know what I'm saying, that's cool, man. It sucks for you because I would love for everybody.
It sucks for you.
Yeah. I mean, I just spent 35 hours going through this game going, wow, that was cool. Oh, I've never seen that before. Oh, my goodness, I can't believe they did that. Wow.
Now, I'm going to make a statement, and hopefully nobody considers this a spoiler. And if it does, because Yield said he doesn't care about spoilers, so if it does,
yeah,
I will take it out of the show.
But we definitely don't want, I mean, like, this is one of those games where...
You don't want to spoil it for other people.
Yeah, well, not just that, but like...
Yield, well, that's why I said I'll take it out of the show.
Yield doesn't want it says don't matter, go ahead and spoil it, but he doesn't, because he doesn't understand how cool it is when it's not spoiled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Oh,
like,
no.
It definitely is a game that...
No, you don't understand. If it's spoiled, then I can definitely use that as my arsenal of, well, now I don't want to play it because I know what's going to happen.
Right.
I mean-
Don't do it, Tricky. It's
No,
this
no,
is a
no.
game that like reveals itself so well to you playing it. Like the
Okay,
pacing is
well-
so right, and if you
Okay, well, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the statement, and then you two tell me if I should take it out of the show or not.
no, but you're still gonna ruin it for Yield.
Yeah.
But I'm not. But I'm not going to ruin anything in particular.
I want you to say it just because I'm so interested in whatever the hell this is that you're gonna say.
Well,
He-
I
he's
said
gonna
it
say
prior. I said it prior to Yule showing up. I think. One of Alex's statements on last week's show was, he felt like they should have stopped after God of War 3 because once you take down Mount Olympus, what really can you do? And all I'm gonna say, because I think this will define what God of War PS4 is this game is not about vengeance. This game is simply about a journey.
Correct. Well, you
And
know,
that's not
answer-
spoiling anything.
The answer to Alex's question, you know what I'm saying? What more could you do after taking down Mount Olympus? The answer is the entirety of this game.
100% true.
A
Like,
fact.
It blew my, because like, okay, I've played all the God of War games. I've played every single one of them. I didn't finish God of War 1 or 2 because I played like the remaster versions on the current console or PS3 and Vita and stuff like that. And like I played them up to a certain point, and then for whatever reason didn't finish them. But I beat God of War 3 more than once. I beat Ascension, and I played the PSP games, Ghost of Sparta and Chains of Olympus. So I'd consider myself well versed in God of War, and quite a fan. I really do enjoy them. So going from those games and what they were to this game and what it is, it's just like playing Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, and then getting to that section of Uncharted 4 where it like nods to all those things, and it makes all those other things like so cool. Where it's like, oh man, I remember doing that. Oh man, that's really awesome. Oh man, this matters to me because I know the history. Like this game has so many of those things where this game matters because I know the history, but this game also stands alone where if I didn't know the history, it wouldn't matter.
It really is
So,
to
it's just a
piggyback off of
fantastic
that
game,
little bit,
so-
it is a generation defining game, in my opinion, for sure. Like Daryl did a really good job at saying pretty much everything that I would have said to try to convince you to play it. If you've played the other ones, if you haven't played the other ones, if you have played the other ones, it does a great job at rewarding you for that. If you hadn't, it does a great job of introducing you to who this character is. And it doesn't punish you at all for it. It's just a really great game, man.
punish you.
And I don't really know what else we could say to try to convince you to play it. But
All right. So with that being said, Yield, have we convinced you yet?
Well, truth be told, I was probably going to get to it eventually because I was going to probably go back and play all of them. But since everybody,
was what you were stopping was what was stopping you? You have not played the other ones, like you having not.
No,
played
I
the
just
other
figured
ones?
I'd be that guy since everybody was losing their shit over this game. I'd be like, I'll be that guy that's like, no, I ain't playing it.
Nobody likes that guy.
Hey, every show needs that guy.
Dude, I like to be that guy in life a lot of times, but there's a couple times where it's not okay to be that guy. Number one, I would say not robbing yourself of God of War. Number two, not going to see Avengers Infinity War. Like those are current things that you don't need to be that guy. Those are experiences that are worth having.
No, I plan on watching Infinity War. I just want to watch Civil War first.
You ever watched Civil War?
No, I was working a shit ton of overtime.
It's on
Have you
Netflix.
seen Black Panther? Have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
No, I've been working a shit ton of overtime.
Dude, I'm going to give you my Vudu account, which has every Marvel movie that you can stream, and you can just watch the movies back to back to back to back to catch yourself up.
I mean,
I would recommend seeing those first.
I want to see Thor, but I understand that that's its own movie, and I'm sure it does a nod to it. But I want
No,
it's
you
way
have
more
to
than
see. You have to see the movies before you get to Infinity War.
Yeah. Yield like Infinity War.
Yeah.
Literally picks up like seconds after Ragnarok ends. Like it's not
okay.
just it's not like a nod. Like this okay, Infinity War is the opposite of God of War. Infinity War doesn't it assumes you've seen every single movie. And granted, now you can watch Infinity War and that stuff, and not have seen them, but Infinity War literally takes place at the end of Thor Ragnarok, like to the point of the movie cuts off with Thor and cuts on with Infinity War. Like Black Panther has its place as well, but it's like the last scene of the movie and then the first scene of this one, which I thought was fantastic the way they did it. So the opposite of God of War with that one, where I do feel like you'd be a little slow on the uptake on why certain things matter. And I've gone back and watched almost every Marvel movie since I watched Avengers Infinity War. And actually watched a bunch of them beforehand to kind of get refreshed on it. And that's one of those movies where the ones you pointed out, Civil War matters because a lot of the turmoil and dialogue between the characters that the heroes is directly representative of what happens in Civil War. And Ragnarok matters because Thor's entire character changed in Ragnarok. So the Thor you have now and the Thor you had after Dark World, they're different guys completely, from the way they look to the way that they talk.
Okay.
So those are kind of important.
Not only should you see these movies, but like both are totally like all Black Panther, Civil War, and Ragnarok are all worth.
They're good movies.
Like they're great friggin' movies.
All right, let's get into the show, guys. Let's do our updated trophy counts. I am level 35, total trophies of 9,003 with a plat count of 89. I gained one, gentlemen.
What was that one?
Yield, do you want to take a guess of what platinum I got?
The one you said you weren't going to do.
Yes, the platinum I announced. I said I'm not going to do, but I got the God of War platinum.
I would like to take partial credit for that one because I called him out and said he wouldn't do it.
Well, all right.
Called him a pansy.
Little thing. No, listen. Daryl and Matt can back me up without me having to spoil this. There's something in the game that is really trying to do.
It's very difficult.
And I didn't want to I didn't want to frustrate myself trying to do that and soil my opinion of the game because the game is that good.
Yes.
I was able to do the hard part without too much trouble. And then once I did that, I was like, screw it, I'm getting the platinum.
See, I feel the same way about Heavy Rain. Like, I played Heavy Rain on PS3, and my story ended the worst possible way you could end it. And it was completely unintentional, but it was so cool. And so I told myself I was so satisfied with my story in Heavy Rain that I didn't need to go through it again. I didn't need to play through it a ton of times to get the endings or whatever. And then it came out on PS3 PS4, and I bought it, and I started to go and say, you know what, I'm going to go through this game and get the platinum because I want to have the platinum in my favorite games. But I stopped because I'm like, the way I'm playing this is not genuine. I want to experience this game again and just that be my. So there's certain games where I can back you up on what you're saying. Like, I don't want to frustrate myself with the grind to get the platinum.
You don't want to remember them like that. You
right.
want to. You want the genuine experience.
I love Saints Row games, but platinuming Saints Row games makes them a chore, and they're not as fun when you have to platinum.
Especially when you got to play for 40 hours.
Oh,
minimum.
I know.
Really?
I know.
There's actually a trophy for spending 40 hours in Steelport.
I know.
Right.
I got that easily. I didn't find it frustrating at all. I clocked over 40 hours just getting the platinum.
See, I had to wait, and I had to leave my console on for like 10 hours to get 2 different platinums for Saints Row. Because I've got the Guide to Hell Platinum and the Saints Row 4 Platinum. And I was just like, man, it was fun, and I have a blast.
Well, I haven't played 4 yet. I'm talking 3.
Yeah, 4, you have to do 40 hours in there.
All right, let's get back on track, because we're getting sidetracked a lot, which I feel Daryl's doing on purpose because I did to his show. Alex is level 30, total trophies of 6,581 with 98 platinums in 97 games. Yield?
Level 26, trophy count of 5127, and a new platinum ups me to 79.
What platinum did you get, sir?
Birds of Steel,
Birds of Steel. What? Why does that game sound familiar?
PS3 game.
Okay. It's
Made
pointless.
by, I believe, I can't say their name right. I say Gaijin. They always do
All right.
They always do the World War II playing games.
Steve is level 14, total trophies of 1,843 with 5 platinums. Sid is level 31 with total trophies of 7,024 with 109 platinums. Daryl?
I am a level 32, trophy count of 7,186, and a platinum count of 96. I got a platinum this week in a really trash bag garbage game.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a conversation with you in about a minute about that.
Yeah.
I am not going
Matt.
to embarrass myself by saying any of this.
Say it, Matt. Listen, you're not the worst that's ever been on the show.
But you come in a real close second.
Yeah.
No. Because
1285
we actually-
total with 0 plats.
and he's level 13. We have somebody on the show with a -1 trophy count.
That's
Here's the thing that
impressive.
kills me, right? Like, I listened to the show, and I remember Steve saying, "Oh, I'm going to start getting platinums. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Don't you worry."
Yeah,
You
and
know,
then he started playing his Switch a lot.
But then he goes, all right, listeners, if you have any suggestions on games that you want me to platinum or games, it's coming. And he just like, here I am. I'm getting ready to do this thing. And a year later, I'm just kidding. I don't know if it's been a year, but I'm like, getting platinum trophies is not that difficult, you know. I mean, like, it's not it's actually quite enjoyable. Like,
Yeah, but see, me and you have a special love for going to get platinums.
yeah.
Like our friend Matt over there, who told me prior to the show, and I don't know why I still brought him on. He says he's not really an achievement hunter. Like,
Yeah,
he
it's
doesn't
not me,
he
man.
doesn't care about him.
I'm more of a experienced guy. I guess I'm not really a hunter.
See, the experience for me is the hunt.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man.
See,
I think it's
I
also
said
like
to him,
I don't play I play a lot of games like Rocket League a lot. You know what I mean? So
then
like
you should have the platinum in Rocket League at least.
I got that
Yeah,
one. My
but-
7-year-old has the platinum in that game.
Ooh. See, I said, Matt, before the show, I was like, do you never play the Telltale game? They basically give you one. He goes, apparently not to completion.
Oh, I love those games, man.
No, yeah, I mean
All right.
I do too, but yeah, no. I'm just not my bag, I guess.
All right, so let's get into what we're playing. I'm going to start us off. Today, I played Assassin's Creed Origins because I wanted to try the Discovery mode, where it's basically the tour. It's a nice little thing. It's got tours. It's got 3 trophies inside of that trophy set DLC. 1 trophy is for doing your first tour. Then there's 1 for doing all the tours in a certain section. And then there's doing 5 tours with 5 different characters. It's pretty cool. I like it. I'm going to go through that. It's an easy way to get 3 easy trophies. I started Batman: The Enemy Within last night.
So good.
I've literally only gotten to the first trophy of the first chapter, and then I had to go to bed. The game that Daryl got the platinum in, which I just don't have the patience to keep trying right now, is Little Venture on the Prairie. That game is it's so simple, so stupid.
bad.
But okay, Matt, I'm gonna explain this to you, okay?
All right, I'm listening.
It's a side-scrolling game where you have levels, and the object of every level is to just defeat every enemy.
Okay.
Like, literally, and then that level ends, you get a trophy. There's 12 levels in the game, and they're broken down into 4 levels per chapters, and there's 3 chapters. You
sounds wonderful.
You can't block, and you cannot hit an enemy without the enemy hitting you.
And if you just stand by them, they will drain your health as if they're hitting you, even if they're not.
Yes, they're not even swinging at you, and your life is dropping.
That doesn't sound like something I'd want to platinum.
But if you somehow get through all 12 levels, it's a platinum. The other game I tried was Don't Bite Me, Bro. I'm not going to play that game
Yeah.
anymore. Thankfully, I didn't get any trophies, so I can just delete that off my list. I got a little nostalgic and played Qbert Rebooted.
Is that any good? Like, I haven't tried it yet.
It's Qbert.
Okay.
Luckily, I didn't get any trophies in that game, so I'm just going to delete that.
I decided not to pick that game up.
We got it for free.
I know. I decided not to download it.
I tried Minutes. It's a nice little puzzle game.
Is that the one where you got like
platinum.
60 seconds to do every level or whatever? That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
You got 60 seconds to you got this circle, and you can make the circle bigger or smaller, and you have to collect all the orange lines by avoiding the black lines.
Okay.
It's much easier to understand if you see it rather than if you if I try to explain it to you. Rayman Legends, I have no idea why I tried that, but I did. And the game that I'm really going to go after the platinum now with is Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh, dude, I'm ready to start playing that game. I'm ready to get serious about that one.
I will tell you, there is a Splinter Cell, a Sam Fisher mission in that game.
Yes.
I cannot get the Sam Fisher.
Dude, they say it is hard. It is supposed to be really tough.
All right, so that's what I've been playing. Yield, what have you been playing, sir?
So, not much this week. I've been playing. I played a little Swords of Ditto, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then of course Birds of Steel, since I got the platinum in that.
How long did it take you for Birds of Steel?
Well, let's see here.
Don't tell him. He just wants an easy platinum.
No, it's not an easy platinum.
He wants to ruin the race to 100.
This is one of the games that I feel is one of my most accomplished ones, just because of it's not one of the trophies is not easy to get. I started it around July of last year, and then I knocked most of them out in about a month. But then I got to the hard ones, like the really annoying, aggravating ones, and I put it up for a while, and then I finished Saints Row, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sitting on one really difficult trophy, possibly two. Once I get those, the rest of my trophies are gravy. And I kind of purposely saved that so that way I didn't have just that one trophy hanging over my head. So I finally got it Friday before I went to work. And then I knocked out the rest of the trophies before I went to work and got the platinum. But there's like 4 or 5 trophies where you have to play on realistic or simulator difficulty. So for me, I'm not that good at flight sims. I'm used to, you bank that plane as hard as you can and you just go all out. Well, you can't do that on realistic or simulator because then it goes into a flat spin, which you can never save, and I die. So it's really hard to get those kills when you can't just bank and follow the plane.
Yeah, I haven't played a flight sim in so many years. So I was just curious about it.
I feel like Ace Combat was like the last real flight game that I was jamming on like a long time ago. Ace Combat 4.
The trophy that most consider the most difficult in that one is Sharpshooter, where you got to kill 5 fighters. You're defending your bombers, and you got to take out 5 fighters before you finish the mission or they shoot down all your bombers. And until I did it, the best I could do is 4. And it was just frustrating to know that you were on the cusp and you couldn't do it. And then when I finally did it, I got 7 that round. And I was not ashamed of kamikazing into a fighter to get a kill. I wasn't. If I shot one down and I was sneaking up behind him and shooting him, and then I got too close and he went to bail, I'd fly right into him. Oh, there's a kill. Awesome. That's another one down.
All right, Matt, what have you been playing?
Well, so I finished up God of War, and I'm diving back into that to do some of the more optional stuff.
Yeah,
and then, yeah, man. And then I've been playing this game called Pizza Titan Ultra, which is a pretty good, like, kind of crazy taxi kind of game, except you're a giant mech delivering pizzas in the future. It's pretty weird, but it's a really fun time. I'm going to be doing a review for it, throwing it up on Proven Gamer. That's about it, though. I really haven't been playing a whole lot of stuff.
So what you're saying is God of War is going to be your first platinum.
I'm not gonna put words down in perpetuity like that, where later I come back and you can talk shit about me not getting the plat in God of War.
But think about how good that would feel.
It would feel pretty.
It's like, oh man, like my first platinum was God of War. Not only was it amazing, but I'm also pretty BA.
Don't you try to sell me on this shit, man.
Daryl, what are you playing?
I am currently playing God of War. I beat the game. I'm going back and doing a lot of the optional stuff. There is a tremendous amount of good story content in the side missions and in the traveling after the game. It's like the game's not over. Even though I know I've rolled credits, like the game.
There's way more content than you would.
Yes, the end game is good, and it's still telling a story. It's still building the world that even though I've already, you know what I'm saying, like I said, beat the big bad, or I guess I said big bad, but you know what I'm saying, like I've finished this part of the journey. It's like we're sitting here going, me, my son, and our little buddy, and it's just like, having a blast. So, playing through that, I've got a decent amount of trophies to get. I'm just kind of casually going through section to section and knocking stuff out. I got the platinum in A Little Adventure on the Prairie this week, and you're not the first person, Tricky, that said that game's frustrating. What's most frustrating to me is, like, I'm admittedly bad at a lot of games, and friend of the show, friend of all of our shows, John Tancredi, the Joker said he platinumed that game in 17 minutes.
Well, yeah, it can be done in 17 minutes.
Right. It can be done, but I'm like, I'm not that guy, obviously. And so I saw him say that, and I went and bought the game. I'm like, okay, good. This is a cool game that I can play on my breaks at work and put the Vita to use. I love my Vita. And so I'm sitting there and I'm playing the game, and I go through a 15-minute break. And I'm like, yep, that's not going to happen. And then I go through another 15-minute break, and later in the day, like, yep, that didn't happen. So then, like, I do that for 2 days, and I'm like, what the crap? So then, just later on in the evening, I just grabbed the game and just kept going through it. I think I popped the last trophy for the platinum on the crapper. It's my favorite place to pop my platinums.
That's the best place to pop them.
Yeah, but like the game, like what you have to do, like, and it doesn't tell you this, because I looked in the guide. I'm like, maybe I'm just playing the game wrong. So I looked up the guide for it, and it's just like, nope, straightforward. You know what I'm saying? Pan left to right, get your upgrades, and beat all the enemies. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, why am I getting stuck on some of these levels? And what you have to do is you have to jump up, like, right before you get to the characters, and you get stuck on their head. Button.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can beat them from there. 9 times out of 10, the enemies won't hit you. And there's still some enemies that will. So what I did, and this is a little trophy tip, is I would intentionally not pick up the health power-ups. Until I jumped on someone and they defeated me, or beat me up a little bit, so I could turn back, you know what I'm saying, and get the health. So.
All right. So let's get into our topics, because we are, let's see, 29 minutes into the show, and we haven't even gotten to our first topic yet. So the top downloads, you would think that if I quit smoking, I'd stop coughing like this.
It took me a couple years when I quit smoking.
Oh my Lord. All right. So the top downloads from the PlayStation Store for the month of April. Anyone want to guess what the number one downloaded PS4 game was?
A Little Adventure on the Prairie.
There you go.
It's the game that Yield will not contribute to, God of War. Followed by Far Cry 5, MLB The Show 18, A Way Out, The Last of Us Remastered, Grand Theft Auto 5, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Minecraft, Gang Beast, and NFL 18. Your top VR games were Rick and Morty Virtual Reality, Super Hot VR, Job Simulator, The Inpatient, Crisis on the Planet of the Apes, Arizona Sunshine, Moss, Drunken Bar Fight, Killing Floor Incursion, and Surgeon Simulator.
Drunken Bar Fight looks really fun.
Your free-to-play games. No surprise, number one is Fortnite Battle Royale. Number 2, Brawlhalla. 3, Don't Bite Me Bro. 4, Paladins. 5, Pro Evolution Soccer. 18, Light. 6, Warframe. 7, America's Army Proving Grounds. 8, DCUO. Number 9, 3-on-3 Freestyle. And number 10, Black-Right Retribution.
I can't believe that game Don't Bite Me Bro is that high up on that list. That is awful.
Your top Vita games. Number 1, God of War Collection. Number 2, Persona 4. Number 3, Minecraft. Number 4, Jack and Daxter Collection. Number 5, Cosmic Star Heroine. Number 6, Mary Skelter Nightmares. Number 7, Sultan Sanctuary. Number 8, Persona 4. Number 9, Mura-sama Rebirth.
Muramasa.
Gazoo.
There you go. And number 10, King of Fighters 97. And I'm not going to go into the top themes or the classics, but you could pretty much, if we've done this in the past, you know what they are because they probably have not changed. All right, so E3 is a month away.
Yay.
And Sony has come forth with some details about their showcase.
Boo.
This is coming from IGN. Sony has announced its E3 showcase will take place at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern on June 11th. That's 2 a.m. June 12th in the UK. This year, 4 of Sony's own titles will feature predominantly in the show, with Sean Layden, chairman of Worldwide Studios, saying that we'll get a deep dive in with the Big 4. The Big 4 being Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, and The Last of Us 2.
See, I don't like that.
What? Why?
Sony's conference...
Because that is an extremely big way to overhype games. I mean, look at what they poured a large amount of time into No Man's Sky, which we all said it wasn't going to live up to the hype. Same thing's going on with Days Gone, and Days Gone just keeps getting pushed back. I mean, you're going to have those who are going to love it, but then you're going to have those that say it was completely.
But so you
overhyped.
have that little faith in
now,
these particular 4 titles?
These titles you've already sold people on it. So don't oversaturate.
I don't know about Ghost of
them
Tsushima,
all.
man, and Death Stranding. Like we have, I mean, I'm hyped for Death Stranding, but we haven't seen anything. And then.
But that's it. Death Stranding, people lost their minds. No one.
Well, maybe
knows
we'll
what
know
the
now.
game's about. So just keep giving them little tidbits. Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah, but see, I think God of War did it great. They came out with the announcement trailer, and then you didn't hear shit until right before release.
And see, and I like those type of marketing strategies.
But no, I don't want to play it because everybody else is playing.
Well, exactly, but I can still like the marketing strategy.
Shots fired.
I can still appreciate market strategy. But I just, I don't like that because you're taking away from all the other games and all the other announcements. I mean, yeah, we're still going to have announcements, but we're not going to do it at our show. So what? You have no faith in everything else that's coming out?
I don't think that's true. I think they're going to focus on these games, but I would be really, really surprised. Because, they just called this the centerpiece, right, of their whole show. So I assume we're going to get other big title releases.
Well, so Sony did say they're going to have other stellar announcements from third-party publishers and independent developers as well. But see, a lot of people are pissed off because Sony announced this, not because of the way Yield's feeling, but that Sony has broken the quote-unquote surprise of what they're going to show us. But when I look at these 4 games, did anybody believe that these 4 games were not going to be shown?
Well,
they're not breaking a surprise to me.
I didn't know what the Ghost game was, but the other 3 I expected to see. I mean, those are your heavy hitters. Although really, I mean, we all know Spider-Man's coming at the end of the year, so to me, you don't have to base a big part of your show on it because you already know it's coming at the end of the year. And was it September?
September 26th.
So I mean, to me,
September 9th. Sorry.
To me, you could show some more of the game, but you don't have to center it around that game. I would center it around games that you either haven't heard about lately or new games.
See, I don't think they're centering it around it. I think they're just basically saying, these are 4 games we're going to show. We're going to get a deep dive into these 4 games. I don't think they're saying we're going to center our press conference about this. I think they're just saying, listen, we know you want news, so we're going to tell you. At E3, we're going to go deep into these games and tell you all about them.
Yeah, I mean, all the wording and stuff in the article, like the quoting, seems like these are just the 4 games that beforehand they're saying these are 4 upcoming. They're not saying these are our only 4 upcoming games that you should be excited about. They're saying these are 4 big games that you are definitely going to see at E3, like more of. They're not.
Yeah, we're going to tell you a lot about them.
Well, not only that, but if you look back, every single, even Microsoft does the same thing. Every press conference has the big 4. I mean, you look at each one. You can pick what are the biggest games that are coming up. You know, and in this case, we just know about them. You know, we already know which games are going to show, and you know, it's not like I think back to what was it was a 2015 where it was like Microsoft kept showing this little panel they had, and it was like Halo 5, Gears 4, the new Forza, and one other thing, and it was just like they kept showing this little panel of the images, and it's like these are the there's other stuff coming to the console, but it's like these are the big AAAs, these are the heavy hitters, and these are the ones that people are investing money into our company because we are pushing them forward. You know, and that, well, you know, it would have worked out if they kept doing it, but it's like, you know, it's like these are, in their case, these are the only 4. But, you know, it's really no different any other time. It's just we know they're going to be there. They're telling us ahead of time they're going to be there. Whereas in the past, we all sit back and go, yep, bet we're going to see Death Stranding again. I bet we're going to see the Spider-Man. I mean,
yeah, I think the difference here, right, is just that instead of all of us speculating, like, I bet we're going to see this, I bet we're going to see that, it's just them saying, like, hey, these 4 games for sure, you're going to see it.
Because what was it that one year? We had all the surprises. It was freaking Final Fantasy VII Remake and Shenmue 3.
Yeah, the Last Guardian.
Last Guardian. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny that you said Final Fantasy VII Remake. Because Walmart Canada is apparently, they kind of spoiled E3 for people.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what I'm about to say, you have to take with a grain of salt, because, and I'll explain why. Walmart in Canada on their website has listed pre-orders for games that apparently, if you believe it, are going to be announced at E3. Final Fantasy VII Remake, we knew was coming. NBA 2K19, we knew was coming. Beyond Good and Evil 2,
we know it's coming.
Rage 2, which there was no hype behind.
Yeah, I haven't heard a thing about that one.
Bethesda's been adding fuel to that fire since that whole leak happened.
Assassin's Creed, just Assassin's Creed, no subtitle. Tom Clancy's.
We're not surprised about that. We knew they'd probably get back into the every year thing.
Splinter Cell.
Oh, I'm so excited, dude. I was telling the guys on our show, the Loot Bros, quick plug. I've been telling them, I said, man, we got a Splinter Cell coming. Like, I know it's coming.
Insurgency Sandstorm. Don't know what that is. Just Cause 4. Destiny Comet. Dragon Quest 2. Borderlands 3.
Which I wouldn't be surprised about that.
Lego DC Villains.
Which I've heard about that one.
We've heard about that one.
Dreams.
We know that's in the works.
Forza Horizon 5.
That wouldn't be surprising.
Well, wait. No,
that is a little surprising.
4. There's not a Horizon 4 yet.
There's not a 4 yet. And the last one is Gears of War 5. Now, the reason I say take this with a grain of salt is because some of these we already knew was coming. But when you look at the listen for Assassin's Creed, there's no subtitle behind it. So is this somebody that was in charge of Walmart's Canada's website that's making educated guesses? Or did they actually spoil E3 and what's going to be announced?
Oh, I'm sure that somebody screwed up, because I read, was was it Wario 64 that had posted everything, and then somewhere someone had posted a link or quoted a link. They're like, yeah, they're blaming it on a glitch in the system. I'm like, yeah, glitch in the system, sure.
Well, I mean,
Somebody hit enter too soon.
Yep.
These.
Just one guy waiting for E3 to be over, sitting by a keyboard.
But see,
sweating
some of these
nervously.
can be educated guesses. I mean, with Sam Fisher showing up in Wildlands, you kind of got to assume that they're probably trying to hype a new Splinter Cell coming out.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, what keeps me from thinking that it's like an educated guess, though, is like some of the outliers that are just weird. Like Rage. That's such a weird... Or Just Cause 4. Those are two really weird, educated guesses.
Right.
Because, like, I mean, Just Cause 3, yeah, it was like an okay game, whatever. Like,
It
had
sold well.
performance issues all over the place.
It sold well.
It sold well. But, like, that's totally not a thing that you would think, like, oh man, they're definitely making something like that. And then Rage 2, I feel like wasn't an educated guess, even though it seems more and more likely that that's actually going to be an announcement that happens possibly prior to E3, by Bethesda. But, like, who would have thought that that was a game that was going to get announced at E3? Like, nobody... That game bombed.
I heard it was really good. I mean, I didn't play it, but I heard it was pretty good.
What game? We're talking about Rage?
Rage?
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems, I don't know how it sold, but like when people talk about it, even critics, they talk about it highly. They speak of it highly. I bought the game and never played it.
I'm looking up VG charts right now to see.
Yeah, no, I played a bunch of it.
Tell me what sales.
It had performance issues when it came out, and like there was a bunch of texture issues around it, and I don't know how it eventually sold, but I remember a bunch of backlash about it when it first came out. It was like an okay first-person shooter. I had a good time
I might
with
be
it.
looking up the wrong game because the Rage I just got on VG charts is from PS3. Was it that old?
I had it on 360. Yeah, I had it on 360.
Okay,
Yep.
so according to VG charts, let's see. It has sold 1.32 million total.
It's not terrible. I mean, I don't know what kind of marketing it had behind it, but
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, wait, excuse me. That's just on PS3. Hold on. On 360, it sold 1.6 million.
So you're looking at almost 3 million between the two.
well, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's okay, but then you look at something like Skyrim that sold 22.7 million copies worldwide.
Yeah, but it's also on 14 consoles.
I'm just
and
saying.
your toaster.
I'm just
And
saying.
your
That's- I
toaster.
feel like that, but that's not an educated. All right, it's not an educated guess in my opinion because like
Well, no, they're probably
that's
going
the
to
point that
release
I'm getting
it.
at.
Yeah, I
Because
see what you're saying there.
Bethesda likes to do these, all of a sudden, boom. We haven't been talking about this game, and hey, look, we're developing it, and you're probably going to get it by the end of the year. It's like, what?
Just for the record, I just looked up the PC sales of Rage as well, and it sold 0.37 million. So yeah, right around 3 million, all consoles and
so
PC.
for a PS3 game, that's probably not bad.
All right, let's go into more sales numbers. Monster Hunter has released their numbers, and they have confirmed that they have shipped, not sold, shipped nearly 8 million units, and has hit Capcom's all-time highest profitability level.
Hell yeah.
Capcom has released their financial report for the fiscal year 2017, which ended March 31st, and the report shows that since its release in January, Monster Hunter World has shipped 7.9 million copies worldwide.
Very nice.
This amazing figure represents the, quote, highest level of profitability, end quote, in Capcom's history, according to the legendary developer-publisher. Quote, of particular note, it is that the worldwide expansion of the user base to the game's tremendous success overseas, in addition to its established domestic popularity, has marked the start of a new era for the brand, end quote. And then this article coming from Destructoid, the next line is roughly translated, the suits now consider Monster Hunter a big fucking deal. So good news for Capcom. This is 2 years in a row they have released a game in January and saw success. The other game being Resident Evil 7 the year before.
Good news for Monster Hunter fans too. I mean, that's huge. I'd assume that any forward Monster Hunter titles are going to be not globally released as well as like major consoles.
Now, what I also heard about Monster Hunter World, and I'm not saying this from my point of view, just from what I've heard from other people saying, is that the reason World is doing so well is because when it comes to Monster Hunter games, World is really holding your hand and showing you what to do, and that's allowing people to get into it. Where the other ones are like, here's the monsters, go hunt them. This one's kind of holding your hand as you're going through it.
I mean, there's some truth to that. There's definitely some like quality of life changes to Monster Hunter World that makes it a little bit more accessible than other games, than like previous games in the franchise. But I don't know, just like playing it after having not played a whole lot of Monster Hunter prior to this. Like I played the one on Vita, the free one, and like it's tough to get into because like you really don't know what you're supposed to be doing. And I think there's part of the beginning of this game where if you don't have somebody kind of like sherpering you up the mountain, it takes a while to figure stuff out still. But it's definitely more accessible than anything else I've played.
Yeah, I agree. That's I haven't played the new one, but I played the one on Vita, and I want to say I played one of the 3DS ones as well. And from what I hear from those who around me who have played it, is the beginning of it is a lot more accessible. So people like me who played one of the harder ones or haven't played whatever, but the end game or the what do they call it when you
high rank,
the higher end fights, the high rank stuff. They said that's where it becomes that's where it becomes real like OG Monster Hunter.
Well, I was listening to Kind of Funny Games Daily, and Jared Petty was talking about how the new Monster Hunter, which was Monster Hunter Double Cross in Japan, is coming, and they're calling it the Ultimate Edition when it comes to Switch. He said that game, it's like it's going to turn people off when they start it, but once they get to the end, that's where the harder that game is, and that's where people are going to fall in love with it. Like, I tried playing Monster Hunter World. I couldn't get into it. Like, it's beautiful.
I fell in love with it, like, immediately. It's fucking crazy, dude. I played that game for, like, a month straight. And then I had to peel myself away from it. Yeah. It's definitely, like, a certain type of game. Like, it has a very deliberate gameplay loop of, like, hunt the thing, kill the thing, make the stuff, kill the next big thing that you couldn't kill before. And that's, like, the gameplay loop. And then it's all, like, the high-rank endgame stuff seems to be all, like, optimization of your gear for what you're fighting. It's actually, like, the game is super deep, and I think at first it's really hard to kind of get into it. Plus, the fighting is a little more obtuse than other third-person fighters.
All right. Yield, what's your thoughts on Monster Hunter?
I haven't played it.
Any of them?
No, none of them. They're not my type of game.
All right. Well, I know Rocket League's your type of game.
Yes, it is.
They have outlined their summer 2018 roadmap. This article is coming from IGN. Psyonix has released the latest roadmap for the upcoming content for Rocket League over the next few months. Detailed on the Rocket League website, the summer of 2018 roadmap starts in late May with the start of Season 8's competitive season. Players can expect their Season 7 rewards as well as brand new arena, new in-game music, and more. June will bring a summer-themed event with new licensed DLC. On June 8th, the RLCS World Championships will kick off in London and will stream live on Twitch. As per usual, July will see the annual Rocket League birthday celebrations with anniversary events and loot. Sometime during July and August, a major summer feature will launch. This update will make it easier to find friends with the ability to register a unique ID and new in-game friends list. This feature is intended to be more easy to facilitate making cross-platform play. Changes to level will be included in the Progression 2.0 update, with the removal of the level 75 level cap and a rebalance to make levels a fixed amount of XP to gain rather than a curve. Players will be assigned a new level at this point based on their experience so far in Rocket League, while new titles and banners can be earned after a level 100 to showcase a player's status. XP will now only be earned online and based on time played in matches as well as your score. Psyonix's update also lists a number of new XP-related mechanics being implemented. The new Rocket Pass system will also be introduced. While it's not fully fleshed out and developed yet, it will have both free and premium tracks to earn different tiers of loot. Yield, you excited?
I don't like playing online with Rocket League because most of the people are douches.
But you do like it when we played the Loot Brothers and we kind of kicked their ass.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoy Rocket League more when you're playing either online with a group of friends all together or couch co-op.
Daryl, you ready for a rematch yet?
Man, I platinum that game and then helped my son platinum that game, and I'm done.
I was gonna say, like, I'll take action on that rematch.
So Yield.
Yeah.
You could basically say we retired Daryl because we whipped his ass so bad.
Yeah, we did.
I'll give you that one. I scored most of y'all's goals, nerds.
And we let you.
Maybe that was part of our strategy to make you hit it into our own goal.
I scored more for your team than you did.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And let us not forget Tanner and doing what Tanner does, freaking bailed on us. So left me and was it Frosty? Left me and Frosty hanging.
But it was you, Frosty, and the walking idea.
Nah, Josh wasn't playing then. It was us and the Khan, the NPC.
No. You had what's his face? The Nader.
No, he was on your team. I just kept scoring for y'all.
The Nader was on our team?
Yeah, Nate was with y'all.
Uh-oh.
I don't remember.
All right, so Matt, you said...
All I remember is blocking a goal and then going down and scoring. So
Matt, you said you won in. You won in with Daryl. You won in with the winners.
Daryl, you wanna win some Rocket League?
I don't know, bro. We'll. I tell you what. You platinum God of War, and I'll play Rocket League.
All right, deal.
See, there we go. Now we got to figure it out.
All right. So while they're doing that, Yield, maybe you'll be playing some open beta.
I will be, actually.
Onrush open beta is confirmed for next week. Codemasters has announced that it will be able to get in a taste of its upcoming arcade driving game Onrush during an open beta running next week. The beta will go live on May 17th at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, and wrap up Sunday, May 20th, and the beta will be available on both Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
This is perfect because it gives me an opportunity to really find out if I want it day one or if I'm going to hold off.
I had no idea what this game was prior to looking at the notes of this podcast, and when I saw the thumbnail on it for IGN before playing the video, I was like, this is going to be the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And then I watched the video, and the more video I watched, the more I was like, holy fuck, I need this game in my life right now.
Okay. Did you play the MotoStorm games?
Yeah, oh yeah.
These are the guys that did MotoStorm.
Yeah, no, it looks amazing. I fucking can't wait to play it, man. I miss arcadey, fuck you up, weapon style arcade racers.
All right. According to Codemasters, the betas will teach players the basics of Onrush's take on racing via an interactive tutorial and allow us to participate in a single-player practice mode or 6 versus 6 multiplayer events. The beta will include 2 tracks with time of day and seasonal changes cycling throughout the beta period. 4 vehicle classes will also be on show while the beta is available. Players who level up during the beta will earn bonus rewards for the full game upon its release. Onrush is a driving game based on teamwork and takedowns rather than finishing lines. It's being developed by Codemasters' Cheshire, UK-based development team, formerly, as Yield pointed out, Evolution Studios. Onrush will be released on June 5th.
Now, that's the same people that made Drive Club, isn't it? Or no, what was that? Okay, it's Drive Club, yeah.
Yes.
That was a beautiful game.
Drive Club VR is pretty good, too. So yeah, that's our topics. At this time, we're going to throw it across the pond to the man that's killing us in platinum trophies, Sid.
I'm coming for you, Sid.
Hey guys, how are we all? Sid again with Sophie's Trophies, episode 37. Hope you guys are all okay. Before I start this week, guys, just have to say I made a mistake last week talking about the Super Meat Boy Platinum. I said 5 people have that trophy, and it's more like 150 now. I was looking at a very old post, and I didn't realise, so all I can do is say sorry for the misinformation, but like I've said, guys, take anything I say with a grain of salt. I'm not an expert, and I do make mistakes, but thank you, JT, for pointing that one out, mate. I do appreciate it. This week, we're going to do Dark Souls 3. The reason for this, guys, is Dark Souls Remastered is due out in a few weeks, so I'm thinking I'm going to start from 3 and work my way down, and then look at that trophy list when the game comes out, because that is a day one buy for me. I have to say, I haven't got the Platinum in Dark Souls 3 yet. I'm working on it at the moment. Before I carry on, guys, I have to say, big congratulations to Alex for the Bloodborne Platinum. And I think he's now got 100% on the DLC, so well done, mate. I will be coming after that one, probably after I finish Dark Souls 3. So yeah. And I know, guys, I have spoken about Dark Souls 2 before. I spoke about the Dark Lurker trophy. I will just miss that one out when I come to do that game. So, with all that being said, let's get on with this week's, guys, Dark Souls 3. Okay, the first trophy, as always, is the Platinum Trophy, and that is called the Dark Soul. That is Acquire All Trophies. It is an ultra-rare 4.9% trophy. There are 3 ending trophies, guys. You may hear a bit of clicking because some of them are hidden, so for that I do apologise. The first trophy, or the first ending, is To Link the First Flame, and that is reach To Link the First Flame ending. That is a rare trophy, a 30.3% trophy. So far that is the only ending I have got. The next one, guys, is Reach the End of Fire ending. So basically that's going to be the, should I say bad ending? I'm not sure whether there are good endings in Dark Souls, to be honest, but that is the other normal ending. And the next one, guys, it is, bear with me, Reach the Usurpation of Fire ending. I'm not sure whether I've said that right. That is a rare 18.2% gold trophy, and you have to do a lot of jumping through hoops to get this one, guys, so if you ever go for this, please look up a guide. It's what I'm doing at the moment, and there is a lot to do. Okay, so some of the ones I can actually say. These are all boss-related trophies, so any spoilers, I am sorry. Lords of Cinder, Abyss Watchers, defeat the Abyss Watchers. That is a 60.0% silver trophy. Lord of Cinder, Yorm the Giant. That is a 52.2% trophy. I'm not going to do them all, guys, I'll just do certain ones. Lord of Cinder, Lothric, Young Prince, defeat him. That is a 46.0% silver. Lord of Cinder again, Aldrich, Devourer of Gods. That is a 51.8% common trophy. Now, all those guys, they're the 4 main bosses you have to defeat before you can go on to the end game. Master of Infusion, perform all forms of infusion. Now, this one, guys, I screwed this one up. I did it all on the same weapon, and for some reason it didn't unlock. But what you need to do is find some gems to be able to get the blacksmith to infuse your weapon. Basically fire, dark, lightning, raw, heavy, things along that line. They all give your weapon special properties. Master of Sorceries. This is a very rare trophy, guys. 7.6% rarity on that one. That's Acquire All Sorceries. Master of Pyromancies, that is a 6.5. That's obviously Acquire All Pyromancies. Same again for Miracles. That one is a 5.7%, very rare. Master of Rings, very rare, 5.8%. Now this one, you have to play through the game more than once for this one, guys. You have to anyway, but you cannot get this one on your first playthrough because there are some what are known as +3 rings, which are basically more powerful versions of the ones you pick up, and they only appear in New Game Plus and onwards. So if you're going for this, it is a minimum of 3 playthroughs. Learn all gestures. Gestures are used when you summon or are summoned. You can use these to wave at people, point to areas, jump for joy if you all defeat a boss together, and the best one, I think, is to bow. Dark Souls players know this. When you summon, it's just a formal type of greeting showing respect for the other player, and most players will bow if you bow. Ultimate bonfire, guys. Bonfires are where you rest and warp. They're like save points. The bonfire in Firelink Shrine is the one you upgrade, and that helps with your Estus, which is your healing item. You get an item, some sort of bone. I can't remember what the bone's called, guys. I'm very sorry, but you burn that in that bonfire, and that brings it up a level. I think you have to get it to level 10. I have it at level 9 at the moment. Ultimate Estus. Reinforce the Estus flash to the highest level. Now to do this you need Estus shards, which you give to Andre the blacksmith, and he will upgrade your Estus to give it more uses. You start with a few, and each one you give him gives you 1 extra Estus to use out in the world. Now the Covenant trophies, guys, these are easy. You just have to find the Covenants. I found 4 of them, I think. So I'll just go through the ones I found so there's not too many spoilers. So Covenant Warrior of Sunlight. Discover Warrior of Sunlight Covenant, guys. That is a 58.7. And anyone knows Dark Souls, this is a very common and very... God, what's the word? It's got a big fan base, guys. Popular. It is a very popular Covenant because of Solaire from Dark Souls 1. The Way of the Blue Covenant is a 70.1% common trophy. The Blue Sentinels Covenant is a 65.6% common trophy. Now, I don't really do much with Covenant, guys. You know, I don't do much PvP. It's never been my style. But you do have to find these just to make sure. Covenant Mound Makers. Discovered Mound Makers Covenant. That is a 39.8% rare trophy. Right, there are a few areas in the game that aren't mandatory, you know, and you have to find them. One is the Untended Graves. When you find that, you will get yourself a bronze trophy at 47.0% rarity. Archdragon Peak is also a rare trophy. That is a 44.9% bronze trophy for that one, guys. There are a few optional bosses. When I say optional, you have to defeat them, but they're not, what's the word? Oh, what are they now? Sorry, guys, they are not Lords of Cinder. They are not the main bosses. So the first boss you defeat in the game is Ludex Gundre. I doubt I'm saying that right, guys, but hey. That one is an 89.0% common trophy. You have to beat him to carry on with the rest of the game. I'm not going to go through all the bosses. Because some people may or may not be playing this game at the moment. There are still a lot of people playing it, I have to say. Right, last 2 trophies for this one, guys. Enkindle, light a bonfire flame for the first time. Basically, sit at the bonfire and light it. Very common trophy, 96.3% bronze trophy for that one. And Embrace the Flame, become a host of embers for the first time. That one is an 89.0% bronze trophy. So yeah, that's it, guys. I mean, I love the Dark Souls games. I'm not a big fan of Bloodborne, I have to say. That one, I will do a Sophie's Trophies on it, but I've been through the game once. Now I'm round 2 because I didn't use a save state or anything like that. I decided to start New Game Plus. But I have to say, I'm not a fan of the combat style. It's too quick for me, guys. I prefer Dark Souls, where you can basically just take your time and, you know, hide behind a shield. I'm not very good at the fast-paced Dark Souls, I beg your pardon, fast-paced Bloodborne type combat. That's why I haven't got the Platinum at the moment. Like I say, I may do it. I may go for the Platinum. I'm going to get this one first and then decide what to do after that, because I do still have to do Dark Souls 2. And I will be going straight on to Dark Souls Remastered when that comes out. But yep, that's it for this one, guys. Love this game. It's not as good as Dark Souls 1 or 2, to be honest. They've added too many Bloodborne elements to it for my liking. It's a bit quicker. Some of the bosses are very Bloodborne-y. But overall, an enjoyable game. Well worth playing through if you're a fan of Dark Souls 1 or 2. So yeah, that's it for this week, guys. As always, Sidders 1978 on the PlayStation, at Sydney via Twitter, through the Trophy Horse Facebook group, or Sid at Proven Gamer on the email. So yeah, Dark Souls 3, great game, guys. Well worth it. I love it. So yeah, I will talk to you soon, and keep getting those trophies. Bye.
And we're back. Thank you, Sid, for this week's Sophie's Trophy. You know, he actually sent me the audio early, and I still didn't listen to it.
How dare you? You could have had a perfect segue in and out, and
I know, and I dropped the ball.
like Odell Beckham, he drops it. Plop.
Okay, so Yield, I'm going to throw this to you, even though this is Alex's normal segment.
Okay.
What's hot in game? And Alex has listed that Kingdom Hearts 3 will be ready by the end of 2018.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Whoa, fighting words.
He made me choke me on that one.
So, Yield, tell us about Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
Like, anybody really needs to know what this game is.
No, I don't. I just see it in the show notes. Now he's throwing it to me, so I got to talk about a game that I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, so Matt,
I don't play Kingdom Hearts games.
Matt, I'll throw it to you then, because apparently you have a strong opinion about whether or not this is going to hit the end of the year.
Well, so I don't play Kingdom Hearts games either, but
oh, geez.
I think that anybody who thinks that they're getting Kingdom Hearts 3 at any point this year, especially with how Square listed it as 2018 with no quarter, no anything.
Well, they did. Hold on. I gotta cut you off. They did release a trailer showing us the Toy Story level, and they did say this game is coming at the end of the year, and that we're getting a release date at E3.
Well, maybe if we get the actual release date, like a date, I'll believe it. But like every time this comes up, like fucking once a week, I swear to God, somebody asked me about this shit. Like, hey man, like when's fucking Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out? It's like, I don't know, like 2020 maybe.
All right. I'll read the article. It's coming from Destructoid. Kingdom Hearts 3 is a game that may never come. Well, now that Square Enix has showed us so many worlds, it's probably coming at some point, just not anytime soon. Wait, they're saying it's still on track for 2018 as of this week? Well, maybe it's sooner than we think. Square Enix just released their financial results in the year ending March 31st and seemed pretty happy with Final Fantasy series, highlighting them both as the top 3 of the 5 games released in the period between April 17 and April 18, with 12 Zodiac Age, Desire NT, and 15 all being in the top 3 games. They're also looking to the future, noting that the planned release like Octopath Traveler on July 13th of this year, Shadow of the Tomb Raider on September 14th, and Kingdom Hearts 3 in 2018. Hey, it's a window. And as of today, they're still on track for making the cutoff this year. We'll likely find out more at E3 and possibly the game's release date during their pre-recorded stream.
So if they release it from January to March of next year, do they consider that still 2018 really since that's their fiscal year?
No, they said it will be out by the end of 2018. They didn't say fiscal 2018.
Okay.
They said out by now.
All right.
Now, with that being said, they can delay it. Something could have happened, and they come out at E3 and say, "Hey, listen, we have to delay the game." But as of right now, they said it's coming out by the end of the year.
No, anything's possible. Maybe they're going to pull a Bethesda and go, hey, you can buy it tomorrow.
It's out now.
I mean,
Available today.
They could do that.
Okay. Now we're going from a conversation where we're educated gamers and we don't believe what we've been told, to being old school gamers, to a conversation where we're old school gamers, into our topic of the week, where I just simply cannot believe what Nintendo has said here. The topic of the week, as put by Alex into the agenda, is Nintendo Switch Online versus PlayStation Plus. Now, we all know what Plus gives us. But Nintendo Switch Online will have cloud saves and a family membership option. Up to 8 players can split a family plan for $35 a year. Nintendo's $20 a year online subscription service for Nintendo Switch launches this September, and the company has finally divulged more details talking about much-needed cloud saves. Along with the ability to play Switch games like Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Online, the program will also allow players to back up their save data for most, quote, most Nintendo Switch games, end quote, in the cloud. If you've ever dreaded potentially having to send your system in for repairs, that's some serious peace of mind. The paid online service will also include Nintendo Entertainment System games with online multiplayer and even voice chat support through the Switch smartphone app, naturally. To start, Nintendo Switch Online will have Balloon Fight, Dr. Mario, Super Mario Bros. 3, Donkey Kong, Ice Climber, The Legend of Zelda, Mario Bros., Soccer, Super Mario Bros., Tennis, and 10 other yet-to-be-announced games. The service is $4 a month, $8 for 3 months, or $20 per year if you're an individual. And interestingly, there's a family membership option for $35 a year, with the latter up to 8 Nintendo account holders being able to use Nintendo Switch Online service even on different systems. So, with that being said, once this news came out, I said that I was going to pay the $35 and allow the staff all to be on Nintendo Switch Online because, hey, we got 8 people on staff that use Nintendo Switch. So I'll bite the bullet and I'll buy a online service. Matt, I'm going to go to you because I know Daryl doesn't have a Switch and I know Yield doesn't have a Switch. Do you believe this is true?
Do I believe the pricing is true?
Like,
or the entirety of this whole thing is true?
The entirety of everything, because you know what? Before I let you answer, let me tell you why. I don't want to say this is bullshit because I don't want to call them out, but the way Alex prefaced this is like, okay, PlayStation Plus gives us games. This is giving us games,
sure, but not the same. Not the same tier,
right?
Though, of games.
Right. PlayStation Plus is $60 a year. This is at most $35 a year.
But there's more to it than just that. Like, they're giving you games that you, from the sound of it, don't own.
And you're not going to be able to technically own on your Switch.
Right. Because they're basically getting rid of Virtual Console.
Right. That's what they said. There will be no Virtual Console on the Switch as you know it.
I'm kind of cool with that, though, because I don't know if any of you guys have any experience with it, but the Virtual Console kind of sucked ass.
Well, it sucked, and then everyone who's like in the Nintendo ecosystem has often complained about having to rebuy everything from generation to generation.
Right.
And I've only bought a handful of things on the Nintendo eShop, and I just thought the eShop for one sucks.
It still does.
Virtual Console sucks. I just feel like, but that's, let's just be honest. That's not Nintendo's strong point. Is their online infrastructure, applications, or offerings. That's not what they do.
So here's what I think that this is. I think the reason the entry barrier to entry to this is so low is that Nintendo knows that, right? They know that they don't have a very good history with user online interfacing in anything, like their shops, any kind of anything. And I think that with this kind of a low barrier to entry, they can at least get people in the door. Because, like,
But the fact that you can't voice chat unless you're using a smartphone, like, why would I even use the smartphone? Why wouldn't I just call up Daryl and say, "Hey, Daryl, let's talk on the phone. We got Bluetooth headsets."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I need, outside of the games and the cloud saves? Now, obviously, this has given us the ability to play online, so I'm not
right.
forgetting that.
Well, but you can do that already. I can play.
Why
Splatoon
do I
with
need
other
the voice
people.
chat?
Yeah, you have that for free right now.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that on
No,
Discord.
but
I can
play
Skype.
if I don't have Splatoon, but if I had Splatoon, I can play that online right now for free.
Right, because they said that until they launch their service, everybody can play online. Now, I listen. I'm not trying to poo-poo on this. I'm trying to censor my words because I know Daryl doesn't curse a lot.
There are worse things you can spend $20 a year on.
Absolutely, but see, the problem I have with this, and Matt kind of put it out a little bit, is that it's so cheap that are we going to get what we pay for? And, like, should Nintendo expect us to pay $60 a year for this stuff?
Well, no, because you're only going to pay $20 a year right now. Right now, it seems like they're doing what Nintendo does. They're hitting on nostalgia. So they're giving you a good portion of the old games that everybody holds very highly who grew up with Nintendo.
Right, and with some of the multiplayer old school games, they're adding online functionality to them.
Which, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people forget that, like, with, like, PlayStation and Xbox, some of the stuff that you're paying for in that $60 is, like, the fact that this service keeps track of your name and the name of everybody else, that, like, you can have a custom name, and so Nintendo doesn't do that. They have a very rudimentary friend system with this weird number coding bullshit, and
which
it
is
is
stupid.
It's terrible. But, like, so you're paying, maybe that'll get upgraded, but you're paying $20 a year. It's a $20 a year online service.
Yeah, I mean, they priced it appropriately, in my opinion, for what you're getting. I mean, you gotta think, no matter what online infrastructure system, whoever, like cloud saves, that there's maintenance behind it, there's man hours, there's manpower. I mean, like, you know, whether their system is good, bad, or just whatever, there's still a cost behind it, you know, that's being incurred from them.
And I get that, but if you look at just the four of us on the show, if all four of us had a Switch and didn't know each other, we all go get a year subscription. Nintendo's making $80 off of us. But now we know each other. So I'm going to buy the Family Pass. I'm going to give you three the option. So just on us four, they've already lost $45 of money.
No, I still think they've gained money, man. I think...
How?
Because it's free right now.
They're losing out on individual sales.
I agree with that.
Well, they are, but they also... See, Nintendo realizes... and I'm paraphrasing here. Maybe they don't. But, okay, take your household. You, the goddess, and Sweet Mama all play, right?
Right.
So, but as long as they play on your console, they can use Plus, right?
Yes.
You're talking about PS4.
Yes, I'm talking the PS4
yes,
with Plus.
On my own, only on my primary system.
Only on your primary system.
So this is a big difference.
What this is letting you do for the $35 a month is now they could go over, and we'll just say this, we'll keep it with Sony right now. We know it's not. They could go to your other console, fire it up, and have the same access. They could go over to their buddy's house, same access. They don't have to re-download everything. So this is where they're kind of branching off into something new that everybody's kind of complained about.
I think what you're kind of getting hung up on, Tricky, right, for price-wise and like how it seems too good to be true, is the fact that like you're purchasing it for 8 people who are not all in a single household, which I'm sure people will do, like more than just our group of people by far.
Absolutely.
But I think what you are discounting is the how well this is set up for a parent who's buying it, like Yield is saying, for everybody in their house who has a Switch, and now everybody has the same connectivity, and you don't have to worry about managing 2 or 3 plus subscriptions a year. That's $120 between like 2 or 3.
Yeah, but every parent's not Daryl who buys a Vita for every one of his kids or buys a Switch.
Sure,
for
but
every
there
one of his kids.
there totally are parents like that.
I'm sorry, but
there are enough who will do that.
Not at $300 a clip.
Yeah, there are some dumb people out there.
Or not so much dumb, but they love their children and they want to give them the world. And if that means
okay, Daryl, stop trying to pat yourself on the back. If that means that all
my kids have to have their own Vitas, then so be it. I mean,
see, but Daryl didn't buy Vitas for all his kids because he wanted his kids to have Vitas. Daryl bought Vitas for his kids just to boost up Vita sales so they can make a Vita too.
No, Daryl bought Vita for all his kids so Daryl could also play his Vita.
There you go.
A Vita in every room.
Dude, okay. There are 4 Vitas in this house, 2 Vita TVs. Like, there are Vitas everywhere.
But also,
Daryl is single-handedly keeping the Vita alive.
I also want to.
He has his own mansion on Vita Island.
Nintendo has come out, and even before they came out, we've all realized this. But Nintendo came out and is basically said that they're not in the console wars anymore. Their focus is creating games and doing things for the family.
But do you honestly believe they're not in the console war? I mean, come on.
No, you can look at the
the
last couple of consoles that they've done, and they don't care anymore.
I don't think it's that they don't care. It's just I think they know they can't compete.
No.
So they're taking the coward's way out and saying, we're not in competition with them.
No way. I think that Nintendo found their niche, and they don't give a shit what Sony or Xbox does anymore, because even the Wii U, which sucked in my opinion. Like I loved a lot of games on that, but like the amount of games that were on it were awful. And then you go back to the Wii, but even with that, both of those consoles sold relatively well. And now the Switch is their fastest selling console of all time. Like they're such like a trusted brand by so many people that it doesn't matter what they do or what Xbox and PlayStation is doing, because they'll always have at least a fan base big enough who are rabid enough for their content that they're gonna make money.
I think when the Wii came out and it took off the way it did, and everybody and all the pundits compared it to the fact that it wasn't even nowhere near the other consoles. That's when Nintendo kind of realized that, you know what, we don't have to have the console war. We've got our niche, and we'll just stay there. Let Sony and Microsoft continue to battle it out. And who knows? Maybe they'll take each other out, and we'll be the last one standing again. I don't know, but I mean, it's just, and I'm fine with that. I've got a love for Nintendo. Grew up on Nintendo. I've come to realize kind of what they have. You know what? They've decided that we're not fighting this war anymore. We're going to do what we do.
Right. And who's to say that they're not taking? So with this whole online infrastructure, who's to say they're not taking that same viewpoint for pricing and stuff? Right. Like, Sony and Microsoft totally give us a ton for our $60 worth a year. You know what I mean? Like, we get at least now one huge title a month for free. You know what I mean? So, like, I will pay my $60 a month.
Well, that's
yeah, all right, fair enough. Hey, listen.
I mean, if you do the math, like, we get $100 worth of games every month.
Yeah, totally. And so
and not to mention what you save on your discount.
Right. And so I don't think we're going to be getting much of that with this Nintendo Online service. I think it's going to be really basic functionality, and then there's going to be a ever-growing pool of retro titles that you can sift through.
All right, so let's bring it back to what I feel Alex was trying to get to when he put this in this. Which, in your opinion, we just had a long discussion about Nintendo Switch Online. Which do you guys feel is the better value for your money at this point? Like, do you think PlayStation Plus is still the better value, even though you're paying $60? Or is Nintendo Switch Online, individual price for the year, $20, is that a better value for your money? Let's start with a Yield first.
Okay, so I'm going to answer it 2 ways to make it more difficult.
You have to be difficult.
I do. Better value for my money is Plus, because that's where I'm invested right now. I get games most months. I get at least a game I'm willing to try. There are the oddball months where I'm like, whatever. My bread and butter with Plus is the extra deals that I get on the store. Here's a game for
Right.
70% off
Right.
because you're a Plus member. That's where I make my bread and butter with Plus. And then when they give me a game that I was wanting to play and had dilly-dallied, and now I get it for free, that's even an added bonus. The best dollar value, in my opinion, would probably be Nintendo because of how bare bones it is and what they're doing with what you're paying with what you're getting.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Thank you.
Okay. Daryl?
Oh, I say, from start to finish, online options, discounts, everything. I think PS Plus is the best subscription service you can have, period, at this point. I mean, even compared to its competitor. If Switch is what you got, they're giving you something that, not trying to hate, but it's something. I don't know.
I was going to say, you're going to get through that. Frosty was actually going to be proud of you for a second.
Yeah, it's something, but like, like we said earlier, Nintendo plays to the beat of their own drum. And sometimes it's not making a real song, you know what I'm saying? But it works. It works for Nintendo fans. They're seeing success with the things that they do. So it just is what it is, man. Like, whether it's good or it's bad, it exists and it's a thing, and parents are going to pay for it. And for $20, I mean, I'll blow $20 on crap games for crap platinums and trophies. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to judge what's good and what's bad for $20?
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really hard to argue against Plus being the better of the two now. And I don't see Nintendo adding anything specific to kind of tip the scales in their favor. Like, the free games, the discounts, like everybody else has mentioned. I do think it's tough to judge now because we're judging solely based on price and like a really vague description of what we're getting from Nintendo. And it'll be a little bit easier when the service kind of comes out and we see what it actually is. But I think right now, there's just no comparison. PlayStation Plus is such a good service and such a good buy. There's no reason not to have it.
And yeah, I agree with you guys with Plus being the better deal. And I just want to be that guy for a good 10 seconds. The games that Nintendo has given us as part of the Switch Online, at this point, I mean, should we get these games for free?
Well, you kind of are.
You
yeah.
are. It's
well, no. I'm saying
$20 a year.
I'm saying outside of Nintendo Switch Online. I mean, with Balloon Fight, Dr. Mario, Mario Brothers 3, Donkey Kong, Ice Climber, Legend of Zelda.
But this is what I was saying. Nintendo's hitting on nostalgia. So it's going after you and me who grew up on these games.
Right, but I have emulators that play all these games. I have an NES Classic that plays all these games.
But they know that me being a Nintendo head, I would they know that it's a value for me to get this pass, because otherwise, if they sold these games separately, I would totally buy them for like $8, $9 a pop. No questions asked. Because I did it on the Wii U. I did it when I had a 3DS. I did it when they had the Virtual Console on the Wii, and I was pissed every single time I couldn't take any of that shit forward. So now that I don't have to buy any of it, and it's just online for essentially free, I'm 100% down. And to be able to play Mario 3 on a handheld, sitting anywhere that I want, I'm 100% down.
All right. Before we move on to the housekeeping, I just want to finish up the article here. Nintendo says it will let users create a Nintendo account family group starting on May 15th. So the day the show comes out, the day before the show comes out? I don't know. Also, as a reminder, existing online features such as the Switch eShop, Friends, screenshot sharing on social networks, parental controls, system and game specific updates, and Nintendo Switch news will not be affected by the launch of Nintendo Switch Online paid service. So, all right. So with that being said, Yield, let's do some
Let's
housekeeping.
clean this shit up.
Wow.
All right, we're gonna test Daryl and Matt on the housekeeping as we go through. All right, we're gonna see if they know their shit. You ready, Yield?
Yeah.
ProvingGamer.com is looking for some writers, podcasters, video editors, and news reporters and generalized help for the site. If you're interested in applying, go to ProvingGamer.com, click on the Help Wanted tab, and fill out the application, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. While you're there, be sure to check out all of our articles and all of our videos. Speaking of our videos, they can be found on YouTube by doing a search for Official Proving Gamer. You can also catch me streaming randomly at twitch.tv/Proving Gamer. If you want to get a hold of us, there are several ways to get a hold of us. The first one is our email. Matt, what's the email?
Trophyhorse@provinggamer.com.
Very good. Or you can give us a phone call. Daryl, what's the phone number?
Isn't it like 330 proven 9?
And what's the numbers?
Oh, freak, I don't know, dude. I don't type numbers.
Yo, what's the
But
numbers?
what if you can't spell?
But was I right?
You were
though?
right.
Yes, you were correct.
You were right on the proven 9. Yield, what are the numbers?
330-776-8369. I think
Yeah,
he
don't
did that
be-
on I think he did that on purpose.
Nailed
Yield, don't be like Yield and reverse the
Yeah,
6
no.
and the 3.
Yield didn't reverse the numbers. A certain someone said it wrong on an official show.
Was it you, Yield?
No, it wasn't me. Yield wasn't a part of the show at the time. This was Tricky or Donnie, or it was both of them.
It was Donnie.
And they missed it in post edit to boot.
Now, I haven't called the number in a while to verify this, but apparently when we were running a contest and Yield, before he was on a member of the show, tried to enter a contest where they had to call the phone number and do an impression of a current or past host or a guest host. So Yield tried to call up and do the impression, but every time Yield called the number, he was getting a 6 hotline.
Yeah.
Welcome to Proven
Or
Gamer.
that was
How are
his
you tonight?
excuse for calling it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, hey, they even called me back. So what does that tell you?
Frequent caller.
You can get a hold of us on Twitter. You can contact the site at Proving Gamer. You can contact the show at Trophy Wars. Contact me at Tricky Mick. You can contact Yield at I Yield to No One. Contact Alex at Saunders Rex. Contact Steven at BatChild27. Contact Daryl at Resident Daryl. And contact Matt at Mr. Nuff.
Yeah, you got it, man.
Ooh, I took a guess on that. Mr. spelled Mistanuff.
Mistahuff.
See, I
You were
fucked
close.
that up. If you listen to this podcast, we greatly appreciate it. But be sure to listen to our other podcasts, PG Spoilers, The Smart Marks. Fuck that up. If you listen to the podcast, we greatly appreciate it. But be sure to go listen to our other podcasts, PG Spoilers, Nintendo Dual Screens, and Game Stuff. All of the podcasts can be found on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, formerly iTunes, Stitcher, your various podcast applications on your smart devices, Google Play, TuneIn, and you can listen to Nintendo Dual Screens and Trophy Horrors on where, Yield?
iHeartRadio.
Very good. If you want to interact with us more, you can get involved in our PlayStation 4 communities. There's one for the site called Proving Gamer. There's one for the show called T-Dubs Brothel. Why, Daryl?
Spit it out,
Because
Tricky.
Shuhei Yoshida won't let you say whores on the network.
I really wanted you to say Shehu.
Which I don't understand why.
I don't know either.
Whores or Shehu?
Yes.
Well, it's probably an algorithm that they run, and there's common words like wiener, butthole, and whores that you just can't say on the network for all the various reasons and ways you could use it.
Which is funny as you say that, because I was downloaded a game on my cell phone. I can't tell you what game it was right now, but it asked me for my username, and of course I put Tricky Mick in there, and it came back and says, you're not allowed to use the word tricky in your name.
Is that because it's tricky to rock a rhyme?
And I could not figure out why. But the ironic thing is, it was triggering Tricky, but it wasn't triggering
Mick.
the last part of my name.
Well, hey, Tricky,
Which is
triggers
actually a
all of us.
racist term.
It is.
So, so that is the end of our housekeeping, but we do have some sponsors. Our first sponsor is Extra Life. We'll go to you. I'm not gonna put Matt and Daryl on the spot on Extra Life.
You're not?
No.
All right.
I have no idea.
So, Extra Life is a...
Whoa. Stop. Matt, how do you not know about Extra Life?
No, I do know about Extra Life. I just don't know what our particular username on Extra Life is.
Proven Gamer?
Oh, okay.
Why would it be anything different?
I don't know, Tricky.
All right, so Matt, tell us about Extra Life.
Why don't we throw to Yield? Yield, tell us about Extra Life.
So,
You can continue.
As I was saying earlier, Extra Life is a 24-hour video game charity event. So what you do is you go to extra-life.org. You can go solo and play for yourself, or you can join a team.
He was going to say play with yourself.
I was, and I'm like, I won't cross that threshold. You can play as a team. Proven Gamer has a team. You can join our team, or you can create your own team, or join another team if you so wish. The whole purpose behind this is that Extra Life raises money for the Children's Hospitals Miracle Network. And
You had it right the first time.
I had it right the first time. I always mess up a couple.
Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals.
Thank you. So what you do is you get sponsors. People give you $1 an hour, $2 an hour. Here's $50 for the whole 24 hours. It's actually being held on, I think it's the 3rd of November this year, which is daylight savings ending. So it's actually 25 hours. Anyway, people give you money. You play video games for 25 hours, and then 100% of the money that is donated to you goes straight to the children's hospital that you so choose. You can go to your local one. It can go to whichever one you want, really. So that's what makes this charity so awesome, is you can support a local children's hospital for the families who really need the help. And it's also an excuse to play video games for 25 hours straight.
Yeah, not feel ashamed about it.
Yeah, and not feel bad about it.
And Yield has said that if he raises $200 on his Extra Life page, where only $25 I can donate counts towards the goal, because he knows I'll just donate.
Oh, you'll just donate a straight $200. Well, I mean, if you want to drop $200 on it, you totally can, but only $25 counts towards that total.
Yes, but if Yield raises $200 on his Extra Life page, which he still has not made,
I haven't made it yet. No.
he has promised that he's going to stream his 24 hours.
No, didn't say we do all of it. I think we said we'd have to do at least maybe 12. No one said nothing about all 24.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I will go back. I will go back and patch that conversation.
If you get $250, you stream the whole 24 hours.
Man, I ain't even going to stay up and play for 24 hours. I was going to do 2 12-hour sessions.
All right, so our other sponsor is Amazon. Let's see if Daryl remembers the Amazon pitch.
Sorry, that was a throwback.
Yes, Daryl, tell us about Amazon.
If you go to provengamer.com and click on the Amazon link, it will let you do all of your Amazon shopping and kick back a little bit to the site. Doesn't cost you anything, and it helps the site out a lot. And then if you have Amazon Prime, it means you have Twitch Prime. So you have to go to twitch.com/provengamer. You have to give them your sub, your free sub. And it does not auto-renew, so you have to go back and do it monthly.
Yes, but now the Twitch has a plugin, which I have enabled on twitch.tv/provengamer, where every month it will tell you that it's time to renew your Twitch sub.
Time to renew it.
Yes. And our last sponsor, I'll give you guys a break, is our Patreon. If you can go to patreon.com/provengamer, there are different tiers you can support us at. No matter what tier you support us at, know that it's greatly, greatly appreciated. But with that being said, that brings us to our shout-outs. Yield.
So
take us away.
Okay, sorry. You had the pause. I was like, go.
That's why I said Yield. Take it away.
Okay. So I will give a shout-out to Resident Daryl and Matt for jumping in today, since Alex and Steven were busy this evening. which I understand. It's a nice evening. Shout out to Tricky for also recording. A shout out to you, the pimps and the madams of the whoredom, for listening, downloading, spreading everything that is Proven Gamer and Trophy Horrors. A shout out to, I'm going to say their name wrong, Gaijin and Konami for Birds of Steel. I love World War II shooters, and I got a platinum in one, and it was a toughie, or a couple trophies were toughies, and I
Did
got
you
them.
really just say the K word?
Huh?
You know that K word's banned on this show.
Oh, quit being Metal Gear butthurt. And so, a shout out to them. A shout out to Crystal Dynamics. I'm playing Rise of the Tomb Raider, and at first I was kind of leery, but I'm really enjoying it so far. And yeah, that'll do me this week, I believe.
Daryl?
Shout out to Tricky for inviting me on the show and show swapping. He's been a guest on our show the past twice in the past couple months. Shout out to you guys for joining, and Matt and Yield and us. I thought we've had a pretty good time. So it's been a good talk. It's been quite enjoyable.
It's been a good episode.
It's been good. Shout out to my bros on the Loot Bros podcast, Josh the Walking Idea, and Tanner, I'm going to bail on you, bird. We've been having some fun, man, and just kind of we're doing things a little different over there, doing more game club style discussion stuff. Being that we can't always commit to being there, and shout out to Frosty. He joined us and did a show with us this past week, and that was a good time. Yeah, and then everyone who listens, man, you guys are awesome. You guys make it possible, make it worth it. It doesn't matter what show I'm on or any of these guys are on. We all love feedback, and every time somebody writes in, emails in, or just comments back and says, "Hey, this is my take on what you said, or I did or did not enjoy it," it makes it fun, it makes it worth it, and makes us all look forward to doing it again. All
right, Matt.
I'll be quick. Shout out to the Game Stuff group. I've been having a really good time recording with them. Shout out to Kratos, because I've spent the past month hanging out with that dude and his kid. Shout out to you guys for having me on. I've had a blast. I agree. I think it's been a really fun episode. And then a very special shout out to my first son, Grayson, who will be here within the next week or so.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, man, I'm super amped.
I want to give a shout out to the listeners first and foremost. Without you guys, this show would not exist, and I cannot believe we are literally 3 recordings away from doing 350. That's insane. That does not happen without you guys, and trust me, we are greatly appreciated that you guys have stuck with us this long. Shout out to the goddess, who is probably passed out on my bed right now because she wanted to make me dinner and then realized I was recording and realized the noise would be distracted in the background. I would kill her when I edit the show. So she went and laid in bed and is probably passed out right now. Shout out to Sweet Mama D. She's with her mother this weekend. So if you are a mother and you listen to the show, happy Mother's Day. Shout out to Daryl for coming on. Matt, same thing. Yield, as always. And a shout out to Stink Palm, who posted in the Loop Brothers Facebook group that he has gotten platinum number 81 for Little Venture on the Prairie.
Oh, snap.
So, with all that being said, if there's nothing else, until next week, happy trophy hunting.
Peace out. Oh, wait.
The theme song is Venus by the band Even off their album Zenith. Permission granted by the band and 12 Stone Records. You can find them on Facebook by going to www.facebook.com/evenphilippines.